Is the ongoing Ripple SEC case going to cause XRP to miss out on the next bull market? This is something people have a lot of fears around right now. And in this video, I want to break down whether or not an appeal by the SEC could have an outstanding effect on XRP's future price performance. In this video, I want to go over the historical context between XRP's performance and the rest of the market and give you guys my opinion on whether or not an ongoing Ripple SEC case could cause XRP to miss out on this next bull market. In this video, we're going to go over that, as well as go over some massive controversy in the market right now involving Chris Larsen supporting, wait for it, Kamala Harris. In this video, we're going to talk about that, so make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, as I stated in the intro, there's a lot of controversy going on right now in terms of Chris Larsen, one of the co-founders of Ripple, deciding to support Kamala Harris in the upcoming election. Now, the obvious reason this is so controversial right now is because we've seen right now that the Biden administration has been very anti-crypto and very anti-Ripple and XRP. And therefore, it was very shocking to see Chris Larsen, a co-founder of Ripple and one of the original creators of the XRP ledger, actually throwing his support behind Kamala Harris. Now, on the surface, this looks absolutely absurd, as many people probably understand. It is crazy to think that the leader of one of the major cryptocurrency companies out there would be supporting an administration that has been so hostile to the cryptocurrency industry. With that said, though, I think there are some very important things we need to understand. One, obviously, the Ripple SEC case was not launched by the Biden administration. It was launched by the previous Trump administration. So it is important to understand that despite the fact that we've been dealing with the Biden administration for the last 4 years, this case actually was started by the previous Trump administration. Now, moving forward, I don't think there is any debate that the future Trump administration would be a lot more pro-cryptocurrency than a future Kamala Harris administration. So I don't think that necessarily justifies Chris Larsen throwing his support behind Kamala Harris. But I think it's something that's at least important to take into context. Now, the thing that I believe is much more important, and I believe the actual reason that Chris Larsen is throwing his weight behind Kamala Harris, is to hedge Ripple's bets. At the end of the day, what we have seen is Ripple has already donated XRP specifically to Donald Trump. So we already have Ripple supporting the future Republican administration. Chris Larsen grew up in San Francisco. He's been a supporter of a lot of liberal politicians his entire life. Now, regardless of what you might think about that, the fact of the matter is it's probably good for Ripple to be playing both sides of this. We have seen over the past couple years, Ripple being on the wrong side of regulators has really stifled their business, especially in the United States. So if Ripple can kind of play both sides of this and support both administrations, then in the event of either the Republican administration winning or the Democratic administration, at least Ripple showed support for both of them in the early stages. Now, I believe this is likely what Ripple is trying to do. And when you compound that with the fact that right now, Ripple actually has a board member going over to help support the Kamala Harris campaign, well, then you're starting to see that it really is Ripple just trying to insert themselves in these different candidates' cabinets in order to hopefully push pro-cryptocurrency legislation moving forward. So I really don't think it's much more than that. I think at the end of the day, Ripple can't be making a bet on one side here. They need to make a bet on both and hope it pays off. We cannot go through another 4 years of an administration hating Ripple. We really need Ripple to cozy up next to both administrations, so no matter what happens, ultimately, Ripple is sitting pretty with the people in power. I really do believe this is probably what's actually happening on the back end, alongside the fact that Chris Larsen did grow up in San Francisco. He's a lifelong Democrat. To me, it makes sense if half of Ripple is supporting Trump, half of Ripple is supporting Kamala Harris, and hopefully, at the end of the day, this means that both administrations are going to be supportive of Ripple, the company. So when you think about it like that, I do think it's a little bit more favorable. Obviously, me personally, it still doesn't sit great with me to see Chris Larsen supporting the Kamala Harris campaign after everything they've put the crypto industry through. but I do think it's smart to actually be hedging your bet and making it so no matter who wins, you are in the graces of the party in power. Now, with all that said, I want to completely switch topics and start talking about whether or not XRP is going to underperform if the Ripple SEC case continues, whether or not the ongoing Ripple SEC case could stifle XRP's performance in the next bull market. And I know this is something a lot of people have questions about, so it's something that I think is super important to address. And guys, I want to start off and just go over some historical context. I think it is so important that we look at historical context to see how XRP has performed in comparison to the rest of the cryptocurrency market in other bull markets. I think this is a great place to ground the conversation in. Now, what we can see is between 2014 and 2017, Bitcoin, this black line right here, versus XRP, this normal looking chart, the green and red, Bitcoin was massively outperforming XRP. Now, this is from 2014 to 2017. Obviously, this is a different circumstance. There was no ongoing Ripple SEC case. Both assets were essentially free. Wouldn't that be nice? But regardless, what you can see is Bitcoin was massively outperforming XRP. Now, what's important to understand is a lot of people in January of 2017, a lot of people investing in XRP were watching Bitcoin go up and saying, I chose the wrong digital asset. I am about to get massively outperformed by Bitcoin. XRP is a dead asset. It's a banker's coin, blah, 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 blah. I need to switch. I need to get into the thing doing well. And what they later learned was that was actually a horrible approach, because only weeks later, XRP went on an exponential run and ended up drastically outperforming Bitcoin. Now, for one reason or another, this is just the way XRP moves. XRP likes to let Bitcoin go and then catch up in a fast and parabolic fashion. But what's so important to understand is all the people who are liquidating XRP here at the bottom for Bitcoin, those were the people who really lost out, because those were the people who became impatient with XRP, thinking XRP wouldn't perform, only to have XRP massively outperform and for them to miss out on all the gains. Like I said, in this example, the Ripple SEC case wasn't ongoing. But I want to show you another example of something very similar happening in which the Ripple SEC case was ongoing. And that was from 2020 to essentially the beginning of 2022. And what you're seeing is another chart of Bitcoin against XRP. And what can you see? You can see a very similar story. Bitcoin was massively outperforming against XRP. And during this time period, a lot of people were saying XRP is being suppressed, XRP is never going to catch up, XRP is being held back by the Ripple SEC case. Remember, this case started in December of 2020. And what was happening was Bitcoin and XRP were performing similarly, only to have XRP fall off a cliff when the case started. Bitcoin went on a massive rip, and XRP holders were sitting there saying, I don't think XRP is going to be able to catch up against Bitcoin because of the Ripple SEC case. Now, guys, in the same exact way in 2017, those people who got scared at the end, those people who were fudded out, those people who got impatient were left in the dust. The same exact thing happened here. For one reason or another, XRP in its classic fashion went on a massive parabolic run, catching up to Bitcoin and ultimately outperforming it. So this is just another example, even with the Ripple SEC case, of XRP doing the same exact thing, letting Bitcoin go and then catching up from behind. This is so interesting because what you can see is in both examples, regardless of the Ripple SEC case, XRP lagged Bitcoin and then caught back up. Now, I want to show you one more chart, and that is what we are dealing with right now. What you can see is that right now we are looking at the same story again. XRP is lagging Bitcoin. Bitcoin is outperforming, and a lot of people are getting worried. They are saying, is XRP being suppressed by the Ripple SEC case? Is XRP going to be able to catch back up to Bitcoin? And guys, based on everything we have talked about already in this video, my answer would be probably yes. I believe what we're likely going to see is, for one reason or another, XRP making a massive parabolic move and catching up to Bitcoin in a very fast and explosive manner. This is typically what XRP does. And what we have learned is that XRP has done this with the Ripple SEC case ongoing and with the Ripple SEC case not ongoing. But in the same exact way, it looked like there was no way XRP was going to be able to catch back up in 2017 and then did it in about 2 candles. I believe XRP could do the same exact thing today. Now, what is going to be that catalyst to cause XRP ripping? That is what we don't know, and that's really what we're waiting for. But what's so important to understand is we really never had a catalyst when XRP caught back up to Bitcoin back in 2021, 2022. In that time frame, the Ripple SEC case was still ongoing, there was no catalyst in sight, and guess what? XRP still caught up and outperformed Bitcoin. So what you are seeing here is that regardless of what's happening, XRP and Bitcoin seem to have this relationship in terms of their price that just plays out regardless of what's happening in the fundamentals. Over the long run, I'm not sure how much longer this relationship will last. I believe fundamental news will be the thing that really drives the market. But right now, we are still in a market based on speculation. And we're still in a market where a lot of people don't fully understand the investments they hold. So what we're seeing right now is regardless of what's happening with the Ripple SEC case, regardless of what's happening with regulators, XRP still seems to perform against Bitcoin and often even outperform it regardless of everything else happening in the market. As I really hope this video helps shape your perspective of exactly what XRP is capable of, regardless if we see an end of the case or not. Now, I think it's safe to say, I do think XRP is going to have a much easier time performing if the case is over. And I believe it's going to be a lot easier to get bullish news catalysts if the case is over. But I don't want people to feel like if the case doesn't end, it's lost hope. I don't want people to think that if the case doesn't end, XRP is going to be suppressed. Because all the data and all the historical context actually says the opposite, which is that XRP can perform regardless of if this case is going on or not. Guys, I hope this video helps. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great weekend. And for now, Mickle out.